Ladies and gentlemen, Cameron and Mase had the legendary Paul Pierce on for episode 27 of It Is What It Is. This is becoming a legendary, almost iconic show that Cameron and Mase just kind of spent off with, and it's taken a life of its own. They done had so many legendary guests, from Lenny Cook down to obviously Brandon Marshall. The list goes on. Stephen A. Smith. It seems like who they gonna get next? You seen them basically back by the NBA when they was in Phoenix. They got tagged and everything. They was in Las Vegas and they touched bases, obviously, with Paul Pierce, the truth. If you've been living under a rock, Paul Pierce, he did so much for the game. Legendary Boston Celtic. He's gonna go down in history. He obviously played for a couple of teams on his way out, but he's always gonna be synonymous with the Boston Celtics. You're talking about his career. He averaged 19 points per game, shot 44% from the field, 36% from three. Make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to Flight Sports for more Cameron and Mase. It is what it is content. Paul Pierce. This episode is the truth. Paul Pierce is definitely I'm pretty sure gonna spill a lot of beans. It was a lot of issues with Paul Pierce when he was on camera. He ended up getting fired from ESPN. That sent shockwaves throughout sports. He obviously was on Garnett's show, and people said he was acting a little out of character. So he's gonna have to answer for some of these things that, I know that Cameron and Mase is going to ask. That's one thing I like about It Is What It Is, because they don't pull any punches on the show, if you listening, because they don't hold anything back. On ESPN. They would never ask the questions that they ask on It Is What It Is. And that's why people gravitate towards that show, due to the fact of the authenticity that Cameron and Mase dish out on the regular. And it's truly spectacular. We're gonna be getting into everything. What can you wait to see that Paul Pierce will reveal? What is it gonna be? The Ray Allen saga? There's so much to talk about. I know they're gonna ask some outlandish things. Pierce, obviously from LA, but was a Boston Celtic. Got caught up in that rivalry. He got Kobe Bryant stories. Pierce don't get enough respect, for the things he did, because he pretty much rivaled with the LeBrons of the world, the D Wades of the world, and people ain't too fond of him for whatever reason. But LeBron, I don't think, has any issues with Pierce. If you think about it, me personally, I'm a LeBron fan. I think that you think about his definitive rivals. We talk about Kevin Durant and things of that nature. I honestly think it's a toss-up between Paul Pierce and Steph Curry to figure out who is LeBron's definitive rival, his greatest rival. Him and Pierce, he had to get through the Celtics. He ended up having to join the Big Three to even get past them. Paul Pierce was a true thorn in his side. I was rooting for the Cavaliers several times when Pierce put the hurting on them. But Pierce had a loaded team. Obviously, we know the Big Three Celtics, if you want to count the Big Four, because Rondo was in rare form, but it is what it is. He ended up racking himself up, a championship, and he's going to go down in history. He was the finals MVP, too. He put a lot of people's lights out to get that. They beat LeBron, they beat Kobe. And then Garnett ended up getting hurt. I think Orlando ended up sneaking through. They end up going back to the finals with the Celtics and losing to the Lakers. So that's another story, about Pierce. He was definitely involved in the Lakers-Celtics rivalry, and that was definitely something legendary. It doesn't seem like it's going to get replicated anytime soon. Who knows? The Celtics could mess around and get in the finals. And, the Lakers were knocking on the door. They made adjustments, but that's neither here nor there. Paul Pierce is definitely a guy that you want to have on a show like this, because he's going to finally reveal things that we want to hear. Yeah, and he doesn't have to worry about networks. You know, when he's on KG show, what is it, KG Certified? That's Showtime. Yeah, Showtime, you might be able to get away with a little bit more, but you still gotta abide in certain rules and boxes. And that's something that on Cameron's show, it won't be the case because that's his show. And nobody's going to get in the way of what Cameron wants to say, what he wants to ask the guests. There's nothing that's off limits. You almost have to police yourself because Cameron and Mase, they have nothing to lose. You know, there's nothing that could be said that could be detrimental to their careers. Their motto is they do what they want, say what they want. You know, it is what it is. And it's working for them. You know, let's see what happens. But I definitely want to get in the comment section and speak on what's going on with Pierce, and it is what it is as well, because the show, they said they was on tour or something. I think Cam said they had to do some shows because they missed a few episodes. But he does have a Spanish team that broadcasts baseball. He has analysis on that. So I think Cameron is building something special. I think hip hop, you know, he's a legendary. He's achieved legendary status in hip hop, and now he's coming into sports. If anybody knows Cam's beginning, his first album was Sports, Such and Such, and Entertainment. So I think that sports has always been synonymous with Cam's career. We all know that he was a ball player, you know, back in college, if I'm not mistaken. And he, like I said, he loves basketball, and it's good to see him in this. Now it's opening up the doors for everybody. You see all the stars. You know, even they always bring rappers to these events, All-Star Weekend. Obviously the draft, but when are we gonna have our own networks? And that's what Cam is doing. Cam is the first artist. All these rappers are coming out with podcasts and different interview shows and stuff like that. Cameron came out with his own sports show. And I think that was something that was out the box that nobody was doing. And now it is setting a trailblaze all over the place. You're going to see some of your favorite entertainers, you know, moving in this direction. But we'll find out. It's Flight Sports TV. You already know what it is. On this episode 27 of It Is What It Is, Cameron and Mase had the legendary Paul Pierce, NBA champion. You know he gonna spill the beans on everything you want to hear, you know, and he's got a lot to say. He's got a lot of explaining to do for his antics that he's done over the years, and it's been several of those antics. But we're gonna find out. It's Flight Sports TV. Hit the like button and most definitely hit that subscribe button. Peace and love.